So picture this. You're at a coffee shop, right? It's one of those cozy, bustling places where the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingles with the chatter of early morning patrons. Waiting in line, usual morning chaos. People are tapping their feet, checking their phones, and glancing at the menu like it's going to change any second. Suddenly, the barista holds up this gigantic cinnamon roll. I mean, it's the size of a small plate, glistening with icing. "This one's on the house. Anyone want it?" The barista's voice cuts through the noise and everyone turns to look. Now, you love a good cinnamon roll, trust me. The gooey center, the sweet icing, it's a little piece of heaven. But you'd just eaten breakfast, a hearty one too. So you shake your head politely, trying to resist the temptation. You shake your head politely, but apparently your eyebrows had other plans. They decided to go rogue. They shot up your forehead like they were auditioning for a Pixar movie. Seriously, they had a life of their own. The barista looks at you, then at the roll, then back at you. It's like a silent conversation and you're losing. You sure? You look like you really want it. Everyone's staring now. You can feel the heat rising to your cheeks. You practically had to pull out a breakfast burrito receipt to convince them you weren't secretly craving that cinnamon roll. I mean, who carries around a breakfast burrito receipt, right? It was eyebrow mayhem, I tell you. Your eyebrows had betrayed you in the most public way possible. You left the coffee shop with your dignity barely intact, but at least you had a good story to tell. Why are there not more people talking about microexpressions? Welcome to the hilarious world of microexpressions. These are fleeting facial expressions, lasting just fractions of a second. They're like little leaks of your true emotions. You can try to hide how you feel, but your face, it always spills the tea. Think of it like this. You're watching a magic show. The magician wants you to believe the rabbit came out of the hat, right? But then you spot a tiny telltale string. Microexpressions are like those strings, giving away the real story behind your carefully constructed facades. I don't think people understand how easily confusion can be mistaken for anger. Take the classic eyebrow furrow. You know, the one that makes you look like you're solving a really complex math problem. It's that intense look of concentration that can be so easily misunderstood. People often mistake this for anger, especially when you're just concentrating really hard. It's funny how your facial expressions can send the wrong message. Imagine you're trying to parallel park in a tiny spot in a busy city. The streets are bustling and you can feel the pressure mounting. Talk about a high-pressure situation. Your heart is racing and you're so focused on not scratching the car next to you. You're furrowing your brows, biting your lip, the whole shebang. Every muscle in your face is working overtime to help you concentrate. Suddenly, this guy knocks on your window. You're so deep in concentration that you don't even notice him approaching. He says, "Hey, chill out, it's just a parking spot." You're taken aback for a moment, trying to process what he's saying. He thinks you're ready to road rage over a parking space. It's such a misunderstanding, but you can see how he got that impression. You just smile. Park the car perfectly and drive away. It's a small victory, but it feels great. No need for anger, just a little eyebrow action. It's amazing how your expressions can be so easily misinterpreted. Next time you see someone with furrowed brows, remember, they might just be deep in thought, not angry. It's all about understanding the subtle cues. Are you worried that people might misunderstand your expressions? Then there's lip pursing. This one's a classic for misinterpretations. Someone says something you're not quite sure about, and your lips purse up like you just sucked on a lemon. Suddenly everyone thinks you hate their idea. It happened to you during a writer's meeting once. You were brainstorming ideas for the show, and someone suggested a segment about competitive goldfish training. Now, you're all for animal talent, but goldfish training? Your lips involuntarily pursed. The room went silent. "You hate goldfish," someone whispered. You had to spend the rest of the meeting convincing everyone you didn't have a vendetta against goldfish. It was a whole thing. I don't think people understand nose wrinkling. Nose wrinkling, you know that one. Usually reserved for stinky smells, right? But sometimes your nose betrays you in the most awkward situations. Imagine this. You're on a first date. Things are going great. Conversation is flowing. You're about to reach for their hand. Then they say something a little odd. Maybe a bad joke, maybe a strange opinion. And your nose, without your permission, does a little wrinkle. Boom, date over. They think you're disgusted, when really, you were just caught off guard. Your nose, my friend, can be a real romance killer. I bet you didn't know that your eyes can reveal so much more than you think. Section 6. Eye dilation. More than meets the eye. Your eyes are fascinating windows to your emotions and reactions. And let's not forget about eye dilation. It's a subtle yet powerful indicator of your feelings. Your pupils expand when you see something you like, right? It's a natural response to excitement or attraction. Well, that goes for people too. When you find someone attractive or interesting, your pupils dilate, signaling your interest. But here's the thing. It also happens when you're scared or stressed. Your eyes can betray you, showing your true emotions even when you try to hide them. So that look of love you thought you were getting could just be fear. It's a complex dance of emotions that your eyes reveal. I once had a guest on the show, a very talented magician. He was known for his incredible tricks and illusions. He was doing this amazing card trick, and you would have been genuinely impressed. The way he handled the cards was mesmerizing. Your eyes would have been wide with wonder. You couldn't believe what you were seeing. But then, he pulled out a live dove. It was a classic trick, but it would have caught you off guard. Now, you might love animals, but doves appearing out of nowhere? Not your thing. It would have been a mix of surprise and a bit of discomfort. Your eyes would have gotten even wider. You would have been trying to process what just happened. He took one look at you and said, "Wow, you must really love doves." He would have misread your reaction completely. You would have just smiled and nodded, too afraid to tell him the truth. Sometimes your eyes can send mixed signals, and people might not always understand what you're truly feeling. Section 7. Microexpressions, the comedy of errors. See, the thing about microexpressions is, they're hilarious. They're like little windows into your soul, revealing your true thoughts and feelings in the most awkward and unexpected ways. They turn your everyday situations into sitcom-worthy moments, full of misunderstandings and misinterpretations. But they also remind you that you're human. You have these little quirks and tells, these tiny facial betrayals that make you who you are. So next time you see someone's eyebrow do a dance or their lips pucker up, don't judge. Just sit back, enjoy the show, and remember, you're probably just as guilty of micro-expression mayhem as the rest of us. I don't think people understand how to read between the lines and wrinkles. So how can you navigate this hilarious minefield of micro-expressions? Well, first off, don't jump to conclusions. Just because someone's eyebrow twitched doesn't mean they hate your new haircut. Pay attention to the whole situation, not just the fleeting facial expression. Remember, context is key. A furrowed brow during a business meeting might mean something different than a furrowed brow during a game of charades. And sometimes the best approach is simply to ask, "Hey, you seem a little preoccupied. Is everything okay?" You might be surprised at how a little communication can clear up any misunderstandings. This is why you need context. At the end of the day, micro-expressions are just one small piece of your communication puzzle. They can be entertaining, insightful, and sometimes downright misleading. But they also remind you that human interaction is a complex and nuanced dance. So try to be a little more understanding, a little less judgmental, and a lot more observant of the hilarious facial gymnastics happening all around you. Who knows, you might even learn a thing or two about yourself in the process.